right, well, my mother's here, and like, that thing happened when we were 13, and like, whew, geez, I still have some stuff around that. Like, she's in that thinking brain having those conversations. She's not going to drop into that primal brain where she's able to really let go and just be mama bear. Okay? So, what hat is your client wearing? And also, what hat are you wearing? Really important to know. So let's go through some of the roles in that room. So we have mom. What is mom's job? What was that? Yes, correct. It is mom's turn. It is all about mom in that room. It is about what she wants. It is about her intuition. It is what works for her. I want her to connect to that place inside, and I want it to be about her. So mom has a really important job, birthing that baby. All right, we got baby in the room. What's baby's job? To be born. Exactly. Baby's working really hard. This is not a baby's just like lying there and like comes out. It's a dynamic, it's a dance, it's a relationship. That baby is moving and turning and trying to figure out how to fit and come into the world. It's a really important job, and they know how to do it. What is the role of, let's see, a midwife? What's the midwife's role? Guard the birth. Who said that? Part of that, yes. Anyone else? Facilitation of the birth, yes. There's something really important, the midwife's job in that room. Thank you, yes. Midwife is in charge of the safety of mom and baby. Her number one job is to make sure that on a medical, physical level, everybody is safe. Now, within that, there's a lot of different kinds of midwives. There are midwives who can be supportive. There are midwives who have a grandmotherly instinct or a sisterly or a little bit of a doula going on in them. But the number one job of a midwife is to make sure mom and baby are medically safe. And a midwife's job, I'm going to speak from my perspective as a midwife because I'm an out-of-hospital midwife. My area of expertise is low-risk childbirth. My job is also to determine whether mom and or baby is going from low risk to high risk. That's a really important job that I have. All right? I do not do high-risk childbirth. I do not want to do high-risk childbirth. I'm not interested in high-risk childbirth, but I love working with OBs who specialize in high-risk childbirth. So what is the job of the OB? Huh? Yeah. Yep, they're medical mom and baby. The one thing about OBs, though, that I want all of you to take away today is they've only been trained in high-risk childbirth. If you can find an OB who understands low-risk childbirth, they're a keeper. They're few and far between. We've got some good people here in LA, but the OB's medical training is specifically high-risk childbirth. So they will view anybody coming in as high risk. And as a home birth midwife, I want that. I really want the OB to be a specialist in high risk, because if it goes high risk, we want to be at the hospital, we want to have a surgical room nearby, we want a neonatal intensive care unit upstairs, and I want an expert in high risk childbirth. Okay? Do not expect your OB to understand low risk childbirth. Do not expect them to support low risk childbirth, as in eat well, exercise well, how are you feeling, what's going on for you emotionally. Don't expect them to understand the anatomy and the physiology of the body and how it works when it's unmedicated. That is not their area of expertise. Okay? So who else is in that room? How about the partner? What's the partner's job? Support. Yeah. So the partner is able to do something that no one else in that room can do, which is to look at that mom and say, I love you. I love you. And if you can make space for the partner to do that, you've done your job. Okay? And then it's really important. Oh, the doula. What's the doula's role? I almost forgot. Bueller? Anyone? Yeah, support the partner. What else? Advocate for a birth. Great. Understand the anatomy and the physiology of the body and how it works so that you can support the mom to have a low-risk birth if she's wanting that, to help make space for the mom to find her voice, because if she wants an epidural, you're going to hold space for that. You know, let it be her choice to help her find her path. Okay? I want to let you know that the doula is not a medical professional. Okay? And even if there's a doula who is training as a midwife, it's really important that she put on her doula hat and take off her midwife hat. Okay? Is anyone here being hired as a chiropractor to go to a birth? Yeah, awesome. So what is your role when you go to the birth? Yeah, to adjust the body. Yeah, really important. Okay, questions about the role at birth? Okay, wait till that passes. So where some of the challenges can come in the birth room when it comes to holding space is what I call role confusion. So say I've got a mom who's birthing and her wife is an OBGYN at a hospital. I am wanting to make sure that her wife is the partner role and takes off her OBGYN hat. It's really important. Say we've got a mom and she is giving birth and she has a tumultuous relationship with her mother. You might want to hold space and explain this to her so she doesn't invite her mother to the birth, and she keeps a boundary so she can wear the mother of her child hat. Okay? And let's talk about if Lindsay ever gives birth one day. If Lindsay was ever to give birth one day, the way that I would be working with you is I want you to birth like the mother of your child. I don't want you to birth as a chiropractor, as a doula, or as the owner of Birthfit who's got a shit ton of information in her head. It's really important that the mother is given the chance to be the mom and have that experience and feel safe in doing that. Okay? Questions? Am I making sense so far? Okay, good. All right. So, have you talked about the physiology of the body, the hormones yet? No? Okay, I'm going to do a really, really, really quick overview so this can make sense. And you're going to hear some more of this. So, really simply put, there's 3 hormones in the body. Oxytocin, endorphins, and adrenaline. Anyone know what oxytocin is? Yep, the love drug, love hormone. It creates contractions in the body. And it comes when you make brief and frequent eye contact. So a little trick here, if you are the doula in the room or the support person in the room and things are going crazy and you say to yourself, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I don't know how that baby's going to come out of the vagina. I can't believe that her mother-in-law is insisting on sitting in front of her while she's trying to birth. I don't know what's going on here. Here's a little trick. Brief and frequent eye contact. Yeah, just a couple seconds. And so what I'm doing is I'm making connection, okay? Because we're going to have a disconnected field when there's chaos going on. And I'm trying to just make simple connection. It can be that simple. And that brief and frequent eye contact, you're connecting with someone, you're touching in with them, it starts to release some of that oxytocin. Oxytocin has been scientifically stated to create trust, and trust creates oxytocin. And then all of a sudden, the mom's nervous system will start to settle. Everything feels more connected. She's starting to trust her body a little more. And now the contractions are starting to happen. And then you will magically watch the mother-in-law like disappear out of the room. It's happened. Okay. So trust creates oxytocin. Oxytocin creates trust. So some simple things that we can do to create that oxytocin, to create the contractions, to create the trust. Oh my God. My body knows how to do this. Yes, your body knows how to do this. My baby knows how to do this. Yes, my baby knows how to do this, okay? And when you look at that mom in labor, and maybe you don't know where it's going, but you know anatomy, you know physiology, you know her body knows how to do this, and you can just look at her and go, yeah, your body knows how to do this. And you bring that trust into the room, and you will watch things start to shift. Okay? Endorphins. Anyone know what that is? Everybody know what that is here, right? Nature's opiate. It's great stuff. So here's the thing. The body does not slam you with pain because you are a bad girl and you deserve to be punished, right? That's not what's going on here. That is a very linear, dysfunctional, patriarchal view of childbirth. That's not what's going on here. The body is fucking amazing. The vagina is. There's a rhythm to it. There's something bigger than it behind it. And when you get a contraction, it's starting out low, and then all of a sudden you'll start to feel it. It comes up, it gets more intense, there's a peak, and then it comes down. And the beauty of this is the endorphins will meet the mom in that peak. They will be there in that room. And the endorphins, as nature's opiate, help her with what she might be feeling. And a lot of moms will feel pain. So it'll be there to meet the moms if she's feeling pain. Okay? We also have adrenaline. Adrenaline has been known to stop contractions. Okay? So if a mom is at home and she is in early labor and she's starting to get a contraction, and she's like, oh my God, I've got one. Hey, honey, wake up. We got to time it. What's going on? Okay, they're coming every 15 minutes, but my sister had them every 5. What's wrong with my body? Why isn't it working? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. The doctor said the baby should be here already. Tomorrow, I'm going to be induced, right? Do you see can you see my body? See what it's doing? My body's even going in and up like this. Oh, 5? Oh, okay. All right. So my body is even doing this. There's no baby that's going to come out of the vagina like this. Okay? And then the adrenaline starts, like, what's wrong with me? Why isn't it working? The cortisol. That's going to stop the oxytocin. That's going to stop the contractions. All right? So a way to work with this, and this is what I teach all my moms, is 3 o'clock in the morning, you start to feel something in your body. It's like, oh my God, my body's working. Having curiosity. Wow, isn't this interesting? Wow, this is kind of cool. And I can sleep while I'm feeling this. Awesome, right? Now she's in a relaxed and open state. She's got that curiosity, opens up the heart. She's got that trust, oxytocin's flowing. And either she'll get them and they'll start to pick up, and then they'll grab her attention from the inside and she won't be able to sleep anymore and start rocking and rolling, and we're probably heading towards an active labor pattern. Or, I don't know, she might get them every 15 minutes for 3 hours. They disappear. She's sleeping in between, and then you get a phone call at 10 in the morning going, oh my God, last night I was up for 3 hours. My body works. And now she's getting sleep and resting. There's a beauty to that. Both ways are this trust of the body. Okay, so my favorite birth movie of all time, March of the Penguins. Has anyone seen it? Right? Okay, like how... I'm always amazed when I watch it. It's like, how do the penguins know to take a left at the iceberg that probably wasn't there before? And there's no tracks. And they know how to go into the center to, like, leave their eggs with their partners. And then they're going back to the water. And, like, there's been, like, snowstorms and ice storms and all kinds of stuff. But they know how to go and where to go to get the food. And then they've got the food and they've regurgitated it and they're holding their mouth for their little chick babes. And they still know how to get back to them, right? That's an instinct. That's not, I read a book, I took a class, I saw the video, and it told me how to get back to my babes to make sure they're safe. That's not what that is. This is an instinct on the inside. And my feeling is that our job is to hold space for mom to feel that instinct, whatever that message is for her. Okay? How are we doing? We're good so far? All right, more information. Really, really, really quick. And if you haven't had this yet, Lindsay's go over it more. Thinking brain, primal brain. Okay? Thinking brain, what you're all engaged in right now. When you are giving birth, do you think you're in your thinking brain or primal brain? Primal, right? How do we get into the primal brain? We need the safety. The primal brain is where all those fabulous hormones are. So in order to let that come out, mom has to feel safe. All right? So when Mama Bear is giving birth in the woods, do you think that she is going to find a nice open field with the poppies? Right? And the sun shining down and like, oh, look at the trees over there. It's just such a beautiful view, right? She's not going to birth her cubs there. Where does she go? Yeah, she goes into a den. And when you go into that, there is one door in and one door out. Right? So she's sitting there and she's like watching that door, and then she's starting to let it rip, and then all of a sudden the Tyrannosaurus Rex pokes its nose in, right? What's going to happen to her? Yeah, she's going to have adrenaline because she's going to stop those contractions, because she's supposed to stop those contractions because it's not safe. How does this translate into modern labor? It translates into a mom having a care provider that she doesn't know. It's going to stop her control. Who's at the other end of my vagina? I don't know that person. Not only do I not know that person, but that person has red hair. And when I was 6, I was bullied by a girl with red hair. Like, she's not having that conversation. Her somatic body is saying that. And so now all of a sudden, everything is stopping because she's not feeling safe. It's not she's a bad girl. It's not that something's wrong. In fact, her body's working beautifully and keeping everybody safe. But it's stopping those contractions because she's not feeling safe. So one of the things that's our job when we hold space is, how do we help mom feel safe? Thank you. And that's different for everybody. That's a discovery, because there are some moms that the idea of birthing at home is so scary to them, they would never relax and never open up. So they know that they need to be at a hospital, they need a surgical room across the hall, a NICU upstairs, and that will allow them to relax enough to open up and have their baby. And then there are other women who are just like, a hospital for me is everything wrong. I spent all of my childhood in a hospital. I want to be at a birthing center, because that's where I'm comfortable. And then some women are just like, you know what, it's fine. I can be in a practice with 10 different midwives. Like, I'm fine with that. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go do my thing. And other people are just like, nope, can't have more than 2 midwives. I want to know who's going to be at the other end of my vagina. It's different for every mom. And now I'm going to come back to, what did you identify in with? Your job as a doula is to hold space to help her discover it. So if you're identified in as the mom, maybe for yourself, you'd be like, there's no fucking way I'm going to a hospital. I'm going to birth my baby at home, right? But your client in front of you, that's not who she is as a mom. So you got to remember, you got to take off your mommy hat and you got to put on your doula hat and hold space for her to discover, what is it that helps her feel safe. Okay? Is that starting to make sense? Kind of coming full circle? All right. So I'm going to bring in another piece. So this is the work of Anna Chitty. She's another one of my teachers. And when she said this, everything started to make sense for me. Okay. This is where I might need you. All right. This is how she explained kind of the world to me, and the moment she explained this, my whole entire life started to make sense. All right, you have an imprint. Okay, so here I am at, 6 years old, and my dad's yelling at me, right? And every time I see a guy, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to yell at me. They're going to yell at me, right? Because I haven't healed this little imprint. And let's say over here, I've got my rebellious 13-year-old self. So every time my mom's around, even though I am like 45 years old, every time I'm around my mom, I turn like 13 and I start to rebel because I haven't done any work around that, and I'm still acting like a 13-year-old, okay? Not only that, when I'm in these imprints, my brain will start collecting data. If I hang out with my parents, my 13-year-old's going to go, see, yeah, see what mom's doing? Uh-huh. And I'm proving my point for my 13-year-old. Because I'm not my current age, and I'm just stuck in that imprint that's going on. And when I'm in the imprint, here's the interesting thing. When I'm in the imprint, I actually think that the blueprint, put your own name on there if you want, a higher power, a God, a universe, truth, whatever word it is, the blueprint, I think I have to do something to get to the blueprint. Okay, so I got to do therapy. I got to do somatic work. I got to go see a healer. I got to do some acupuncture. I got to do rebirthing. I got to do something to get here. So I'm spending all my time trying to get there, okay? It's a lot of work, and that's how the imprint sees things, because the imprint sees things as black and white. It sees things as polarity. It sees things as good and bad. And that's not what I believe is true. I'm going to flip this. Here's how Anna Chitty taught it to me, and when she taught it to me, it all started making sense. We are all in the blueprint. Okay? Blueprint is all around us 24/7. And within that blueprint are all these little imprints. Okay? There's my 6-year-old. There's my 13-year-old. There's a trauma that happened to me, I don't know, when I was 21. I was having a good time. 2 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't the smartest thing to do. So, in this blueprint that is holding us all the time are all these little imprints. And the truth is that I actually don't really need to do anything to change it. My job becomes trusting in the blueprint, trusting in the mystery, trusting that I am being held in the magic, okay? Because the blueprint holds is everything. And it's got the imprints inside of it. And what starts to happen is when that imprint gets healed, it explodes. And all of a sudden, the blueprint can hold more space. Okay? So if I go to a birth, this is how it's happened when I first started. I had an imprint around birth, and I didn't know it because when I was born, my mother took twilight sleep and was completely asleep. The doctor was in panic mode. My shoulders got stuck, and then there was a really bad hemorrhage, and not everybody was around. Okay? It's a somatic memory. My body knows this. But I used to ask my mom, what happened? How was my birth? She's like, oh, honey, it was fine. It was fine. She was knocked out the whole time. They cleaned me up and then gave her to me. This is back in the late 60s. All right? But my body has this imprint, and it just knows. So when I started going to births and that baby was coming out, I would start to panic on the inside because I am stuck in that imprint and I haven't healed it and I haven't known. So my adrenaline is starting to go. I'm identified in with mom and the baby, and is there going to be a hemorrhage? Oh my God, I hope there's no hemorrhage happening. But I'm oh my God, is it going to be okay? It's going to be safe, right? Because I've got that imprint that I'm coming from. And what's happened is over time I've done self-reflective work to look at my own story and to look at myself, and I get support, different kinds of support to help me. And then I've come into a place where I kind of trust in the magic of the universe that something bigger is always holding us and guiding us towards the health. It's guiding us towards the goodness, right? And as I sit back in that trust, I've got the oxytocin flowing, and then all of a sudden, maybe I'll get a little idea. Oh, maybe I should go to see this person to help me with that imprint, right? As opposed to fix it. Oh, God, look at that. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the thought comes in, it heals, and now I've got a mom in front of me in labor, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not really worried about it, about a mom hemorrhaging, and I don't know, maybe she will hemorrhage, but it's going to be okay because I can trust in the magic in something bigger. Okay? Is that making sense? So in the birth room, if you're coming, can you flip back to the other one for me? If you're coming from the place of the imprint and you think, I got to do something to fix it, I got to make it better, I got to just, I'm going to come up with the position that's going to help it, right? You're distancing yourself from the magic that's available in the blueprint. But when you're sitting in that blueprint and you're going, God, all right, so what's in front of me right now? Geez, she's in a lot of pain. Yeah, and she's really pushing her back right now. And I'm in this place of sitting back and I'm listening to what's going on. Oh, all right, I think I know what I need to do. I got to go in there and I got to adjust the psoas because that baby isn't really able to move, and now she's got back labor. Oh, yeah. Hey, can you get on all fours? You go in there and do that. Can you hear the difference of how you can approach the same challenge if you're coming from the blueprint as opposed to coming from the imprint? Does that make sense? And it's a different way of holding space, because if you're in the blueprint holding that space, all of a sudden it doesn't matter whether mom's birthing at home in water or she says to me, I need an epidural in order to birth my baby and be present. Both of them are choices in that blueprint, and they're both valid choices. And both of them are coming from the inside out, and they come from this place of sitting in that magic and trusting that mom will know how to do this. Okay? Yeah? Did I get it all in? All right. I got lots more to say, but I know that we don't have a lot of time. So thank you for listening. I want to let you know that I've got a podcast coming up right now called Big Birth Junkie, where we're going to be talking about a lot of this. And it's a really fun perspective because it's not just mom talking about birth stories. It's getting everyone else in the room to talk about their perspectives. And we start to come into that blueprint place by saying, what is it that my child is here to teach me, and what lesson did I learn? Because every birth that I go to, that child will teach me something, and it teaches everybody in that room. All right? Oh, and the magical place, by the way, notice my T-shirt? So this has come about because I have sat at births plenty of times, and I'm going, I have no fucking idea how this baby's going to come out. Literally, I've come at it I've tried to fix it and solve it, and I just sit there and go, well, I have absolutely no idea. And you settle into the magic, and we midwives have a saying, the vagina is magical. It'll do, all of a sudden, it's oh my God, there's the baby. How did that happen? And I won't know, and I may never have an answer, but I'm sitting in the magic that the body knows how to do it. And also through this, I've started to teach high schoolers, and I started to teach them how amazing the female body is, because we all know it, and how magical the vagina is. And what's happening is it's not just the girls who come up and go, oh my God, my body is amazing. It's the boys who are coming up and saying, I had no idea it was that amazing. And so this T-shirt is to represent consent, and I'm trying to teach consent through the magical vagina. So thank you for your time. Thanks for listening.